Hello and welcome to Soap Secrets. Now, hi Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
We're going to talk about Coronation Street, aren't we?
Yes.
Because we always do. We always start with Corrie. Not a good week for Adam on any front.
No, Adam's had a really rough ride over the last month or so because of his ex Lydia. She was stalking him, and this week it all really blows up. So, firstly, Sarah tells him she's filing for divorce.
Oh my goodness me.
Yes, well, he's a bit out to lunch and all of this after everything he's done. He was hoping that she was thawing because she invited him to Harry's birthday party.
Okay.
But that ship may well have sailed.
I think that ship has sailed. I really think it has.
It's just like, oh, well, she might just calm down. Really, Adam, really? I don't know what Sarah sees in him. So this week he meets up with Lydia. So he's trying to build bridges with her. She's been stalking him. She's been we saw her wreck her own flat and call the police and make out that he was abusing her. She is really upset and bitter about something because
He finds out though, doesn't he?
This week, yes, he meets her up for a coffee in a shopping centre. I'm guessing it's the Trafford Centre. We don't. Which would be really nice. And so they have a heart to heart, and she's still angry and bitter, and the secret comes out of what is really eating her, and it really is eating her. But Hannah, you'll have to tune in to find out. I'm not going to tell you.
I will. You're not going to tell me,
No,
are you?
no.
I mean, the thing is that the argument. I mean, it's going to get nasty, isn't it?
Yes, because it continues outside of the coffee shop into the shopping centre, and Lydia slaps and pushes Adam, and he falls backwards over a balcony. Yes, so in those multi-layered shopping centres, you have a railing to stop you falling over. So yes, so he falls onto that and tips over, and that's quite a fall because he's all the way down onto the floor below. So, and he hits his head. So, has Lydia killed him?
Oh my god, that's like. Oh, wow. Okay, big storyline this week.
Yeah.
Big storyline alert. I think it's generally a good week for anyone though, because Gary's also having a bad time of it.
Gary. He is just Mr. I don't know. He's sort of rolls off him. Well, this week, he's taken in Kelly.
Yes.
And him and Maria, they've been really good to Kelly. They have. Although Gary did kill her dad. Let's not forget that one. So.
Yeah.
Kelly's mum Laura asks him to become Kelly's guardian when she dies, because Laura has, she has cancer and it's terminal, sadly. And she says that he has been more of a father to her than Rick ever was. So, Kelly's really grown. We've seen her after the trial where she was found guilty, and actually it was Corrie that killed Abby's son. She's really grown, and she's a really nice character now. I think she's bedding in really, really well. And, Kelly. Laura just wants the best for her daughter, as any mum would. And this week, Maria shows Gary the picture of the new site for the county football's training ground, and he's horrified to realise that is the spot where he moved Rick's body to.
This is a real mess.
So why is it in soaps they keep digging up dead bodies and moving them, Hannah?
I do. I don't know how they get away with it for so long.
No. So yeah, Rick was killed in 2019. So anyway,
got away with it for a long old time.
I know. So it's a really big mess. So he's really worried whether Rick's body is going to be found. And when Laura's PI, Laura hired a PI to try and find her husband, tells her he can find no trace of Rick, and that he suspects that Rick is dead and that Gary is the prime suspect.
Oh, wow. Is he going to get his comeuppance?
Well, Laura confronts Gary. Will he admit he murdered Rick?
No, of course he's not going to admit it. Surely not. But he might have to admit it at some point in the court of law.
So, here we have Laura now and her PI going, look, he's not been spending any money. And and I cannot find any trace of him. He must be dead. I mean, these PIs, they know what they're doing, don't they, Hannah? So
they do.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. The thing is, Gary's such a big part of the soap. I mean, the idea of him going is also weird. Well, okay. So, can Emmerdale live up to this week? Because Corrie certainly is. But I would say yes, because there's an absolutely massive storyline going on, isn't there?
Yes. So this is going to run, Hannah. It's going to really run this one for several months at least. So we saw Rona had been trying to propose to Marlon, and Marlon had been trying to propose to Rona. So Rona proposed to Marlon by writing "Marry me" in straw bales on a field, but that didn't really work because to be able to read it, you need to read it from above.
Didn't think that one through.
No, she didn't think that one through. So then he tried to propose to her, but Rona's mother, Mary, interrupted. So there's been lots of proposals that haven't quite come to fruition, shall we say. Yeah. So this week they simultaneously propose at the same time, and there's joy at last. Or is it?
Of course it's not.
It
can't be a happy engagement and wedding.
No, because I think it's going to be snatched away. So Marlon goes back to the smithy because he forgot the ring. Anyway, so he goes back to pick the ring up, and suddenly his vision is impaired, and he realises he's having a stroke.
Oh no!
So this is a really big storyline for Emmerdale, and they're going to do this Marlon having a stroke really properly, do everything
so he's
correctly.
going to have to have surgery and stuff.
Yes. So he falls to the ground. There's no one there. April gets worried about her dad, and she goes to look for him and discovers him collapsed on the floor, and calls for an ambulance. So this is really, really, really serious. He's had a full-blown stroke, and at the hospital, a shaky Rona has to prepare Marlon for surgery. So he's confused and frightened, and he can't speak, and he wants to ask her to stay, but he can't talk. So we're going to see all of this agony, which lots and lots of families will have had
relate to.
Relate to. So, this is going to have an impact on Rona. She bolts from the hospital room because she doesn't want to break down in front of him. She wants to stay strong. Will Marlon survive this?
Oh my gosh, he has to. Sure, he's at the backbone of part of the backbone of the show.
Yeah. He's a really popular character.
Yeah.
So, this is a stroke. I think they're going to do this properly, well. So hopefully, it will save other people's lives.
Well, yeah. I mean, the warning signs definitely, and what to do if that is happening to you. Oh wow! So gosh, two biggies there. Yes. Can Hollyoaks live up to it? Well, they've certainly got a new face joining.
Yes, Glynis Barber.
Hey.
So we best know Glynis as Ronnie and Roxy's mum, Glenda, from EastEnders. But some fans will remember her from Dempsey and Makepeace in the 1980s because she was Makepeace.
Yes, of course.
And
she's been around the block.
She's been around the block. And I think in the sort of 2000s, she was also the face of Oil of Ulay.
Is it now Oil of Olay?
Oil of Olay.
Did it change though? You're probably right. She was the face of Oil of Ulay.
Yeah.
And then it become. I might even be wrong. Shows how old I am. I know both the names.
Yeah, I think you're right. It became Oil of Olay. I was thinking of It
did, didn't it?
Yeah. I think you're right.
She probably was the original. And also that's good. They're bringing in a new face. But this week it's kind of all John Paul, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So we know, you and I, Hannah, and the fans know that Jean Paul has an alcohol dependency, and we saw him recently stash his supply in the school caretaker's cupboard, and two students found it and got drunk, and there was an issue there. And he went to save one of the students who was terribly drunk, but he didn't admit that it was his alcohol.
Right.
So he looked like he was the hero, but actually wasn't really. So.
Oh dear.
So I know it's not as good as he makes out.
No,
so this week,
no, not at all.
So this week he opens up to Prince about the reason for his dependency. So that's a big secret that's got to come out. And Prince agrees to act as his guardian to help him keep him on the straight and narrow.
Okay. And so John Paul is one of the teacher's going on a campaign trip with some of the students, isn't he?
On the camping trip.
Yeah.
On the camping trip. And so, it's camping, and we're not the height of summer, so he's put on a puffer jacket and he finds a bottle of vodka inside. Will he take a sip?
Oh.
And as they set off, Jean-Paul is made the driver of the minibus.
Oh, no.
Yes, so somebody has to drive the minibus. And this is where it all starts to go wrong, Hannah, because the kids get rowdier and rowdier, as they do.
Yeah.
On a camping trip.
Yeah, they're all excited.
And then they get lost, because that's what you do when you're trying to find a campsite in the middle of nowhere. And tragedy strikes as Jean-Paul's eyes begin to close and he loses control, Hannah. Loses control of the minibus.
Is he drunk? Did he take some from the bottle?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, he could be just shattered.
Yeah.
Hasn't taken a break. So he's either drunk and... Yes, tiredness kills. You see those messages.
So, yeah, totally. Yeah. So it's a complete mess. What's the damage? I mean, is it just awful?
So the paramedics are called, the students are taken to hospital, but Olivia is nowhere to be found. And then Jean-Paul makes an unsettling discovery.
Oh. Like you leave us on that cliffhanger, won't you?
Yes.
I feel it now.
It's always unsettling discoveries, though, in Hollyoaks, aren't there?
It's true. Yeah, and it's never what you expect either. Okay. Finally, EastEnders. I mean, it took a long time, but we discovered that Gray also killed Kush. I mean, Kush has sort of been forgotten for a while.
I know, love him. He was very majorly forgotten, wasn't he?
Very majorly.
And, we've forgotten in all of this that Arthur, Stacey's son, is also Kush's son.
Yes, of course.
So it does actually. There is a big impact for...
This is another horrible conversation. I mean, we saw the horrible conversation before, didn't we?
Yes, with Mac and Mia.
Letting the children know. Oh, it's awful.
Yes, so now this week, Stacey's going to have to tell little Arthur that, his dad was murdered. He didn't just accidentally fall in front of a tube train. So, yes, really, really big.
Yeah.
And then in other shocking news, Hannah, the item that was in the parcel for Kat, I said I didn't think it was...
You said to watch this, didn't you? Take note of the package.
Yes, I said I didn't think it was chocolates, didn't I?
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah. It contained a gun.
Wow, this is totally dodgy. I mean, anyone being sent a package with a gun in is totally dodgy, but this is really dodgy.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that gun is illegal.
Yeah, pretty sure. And Kat has a house full of children. Shouldn't really have a gun in the house with children. No,
I don't suppose she has a gun cupboard that's locked.
No, don't suppose she's got a licence. No, all of the above.
And Tommy's been bullied at school. We have to think about that.
Yeah. And
I suspect Kat's probably handled it with naked hands, with ungloved hands.
So her fingerprints are all over it too.
I would suggest her fingerprints are all over it, yes. So,
dear.
And somebody is meant to pick the package up. Really? Like whom?
Who?
Yeah. So that's so dodgy, isn't it?
So dodgy. So dodgy. She's going to be majorly stressed out. Is she going to cope with all this? I mean, she's pretty resilient, old Kat, isn't she?
Yeah. So I just think that's quite interesting, because I think that if she has handled it with naked hands, I think, a year down the line, 6 months down the line, there might be another storyline coming out of this. What do you think?
I think there almost has to be. I mean, I think they're sort of teeing up something here, aren't they? Because the grey ones come to an end, so they need something else that's big. So absolutely, this is teeing something up that's big, that's going to run and run.
Yeah, because if that gun is used illegally, which obviously that's why it was sent to her, so that it's not traced to the person it wants to go to. It's going to be used for illegal stuff, and so.
Oh dear. And while all that's going on, Stacey's sort of at play this week, because she's worrying a lot, well, not only about her son Arthur because of the news of his dad's death, but she's also worried about Jean and her mental health.
Yes. So we've seen Jean. She's on a high because Jean is bipolar, and so she's on a high at the moment. And so very high. So she booked a bouncy castle for the kids and stuck it in the market and blocked access to the market. So she didn't really think this one through, and she's just having too much fun, and she's on the bouncy castle bouncing along with the kids, and she says to Harvey, please join me on it, and he does join her on it. So both of them are bouncing on this bouncy castle, and Stacey's really concerned that Harvey doesn't really understand her mum's condition, because he really needed to be calming her down a bit, because I think very probably she must be coming off this high shortly. Yeah.
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? And then she'll crash.
Yes, and Stacey knows that, and we know she has this issue, and I think perhaps Harvey's not dealt with it before, and it's going to be a big shock to him.
Yeah, and I think it's a relatable thing. Lots of people live with it and can see it, and they're playing it out and what that looks like on a day-to-day, or the impact it has on the people surrounding.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another great week in Soap World. We are going to be back next week with all the gossip, finding out exactly what the storyline is in EastEnders involving Cat and Phil. So I imagine it's going to be big. But until then, have a great week.